Hi everyone, it's Michael K from GetFitOver40.com, and we're going to talk shoes today. Most importantly, we're going to talk about what shoes to use specifically if you're doing some sort of CrossFit activity, and also what shoes to use when you're doing things like Olympic lifting, which is commonly done when you're doing CrossFit activities as well. I'll talk really briefly about the benefits and why the shoes are kind of constructed the way they are, how they benefit each type of activity that you're doing. That doesn't mean you can't wear a pair of typical running shoes. I've brought some here to show you. These are a little dirty. They're ones I use for, well, when I used to run a bit. And these are just some K-Swiss running shoes. You can see they're very spongy. But I'll talk about, why this type of shoe isn't necessarily the best shoe for when you're doing CrossFit activities or any type of lifting. So, powerlifting or Olympic lifting. So let's talk about the two shoes that I do have here on the table. These are traditional, standard powerlifting or Olympic style shoes, and I'll get into what makes them sort of useful or better for that. And then I have some CrossFit shoes here. These are specifically for CrossFit. Now when I say CrossFit, they're good for some aspects of it, but not everything. I've been using these ones as my main shoe, but I decided to invest in some Olympic lifting shoes for when I do things like, well, mainly squats. I wouldn't necessarily use these shoes for deadlifts because you want fairly flat feet. It's almost best to do deadlifts barefoot. But, you could use these for deadlifts, but they're great for doing things like squats, snatches, all kinds of over the head, picking the weight up when it's up on your back type of exercises. So why are these shoes specifically better for doing a variety of things? Well, these are good because they're lightweight, they're flexible, they have zero angle, so they're flat. They're completely flat. They don't raise up in the back, so they're kind of basically as if you're doing your activity as barefoot as possible. So you're getting as much of your foot on the ground, similar to it, like I said, as if you were barefoot. You're not going to get a lot of flex in the shoe. There's very little sponge. There's just enough sponge in the sole to give you a little bit of cushion if you're doing some more poundy type exercises. If you were to go for a short sprint or do things like box step-ups, things that are a little jarring, these will give you some, cushion, you could say. But, having too much cushion gives you too much flexibility. It's like having a car with big puffy tires. You try to go around a corner and you've got these big 4x4 tires, you're going to have a lot of tire flex. The car's going to roll, kind of angle over, it's going to lean a lot, and that's not going to be good for cornering. Same goes with shoes. If you have too much, and I'll bring the other shoe back in, if you have too much flex in the sole, now this isn't too bad, but as you move around, this sole is just way too flexible, so your foot's going to move around in it side to side a lot, right? This isn't such a big deal, but it's the side to side when the foot rolls like this in the shoe. Not a good thing for CrossFit. Now what makes this really useful for powerlifting? Well, look at the sole. There's really very little cushion in it at all. It's basically just rubber and a little bit of hard foam in the back. Very supportive. Even the front, very little flex. You wouldn't want to be running. You wouldn't want to be doing even box step-ups or anything that requires flex. It's just designed to keep your foot as if it were on a slight angle on a rigid platform, and that's the whole point. It's like a platform that you are securely mounted to that gives you the most stability possible. And having that angle in the back is going to help you with things like squats, because having an angled foot gets your weight back over the back of the shoe. You'd think it would push your foot forward, but what happens is because your foot's angled a little bit, it actually brings your weight back over the back, and your weight will come down straight over your heel, as opposed to if your foot is like this, it actually pushes you forward, believe it or not. It's almost the opposite of what you would think. And I've seen videos of people showing a barefoot squat versus using an Olympic shoe doing the squat, and the weight definitely carries backwards. And what happens when you carry the weight backward is you have better technique when your weight is further back. You're going to put more weight on your glutes and you're going to get more drive through the squat. It's a better technique, so it's a good way to learn. Alright, so that's pretty much it. You can see the total different designs. All support here, heavy sole with an angle, very rigid sole, almost like being mounted to a platform. Flexible, lightweight shoe, zero platform, so zero plane. There's no angle to the sole at all, which is as natural as you can get, except for being barefoot. And it gets your weight down as low as possible. It gets your whole center of gravity down as well. Good for a lot of things. Good for things like deadlifts. Good for doing all your mobility type stuff that you do in CrossFit. And I've been using these shoes for most of my stuff. So Pretty cool. Anyways, hope that helped you figure out what type of shoes maybe you're going to need if you're going to do something like CrossFit. Now, if you're just going to the gym and doing some strength training stuff, some leg strength training, you can wear these. You don't have to be an Olympic lifter. It'll still help you. You can still wear these shoes if you're not doing CrossFit. They're going to be good shoes for doing, you know, all kinds of gym activities, especially like some sort of aerobic stuff. Any type of basic cardio stuff. You wouldn't want to do any type of long running in them, but they'd be great in the gym, especially if you're moving around a lot, doing a lot of side-to-side stuff. Alright, thanks for watching another GetFitOver40.com video. Don't forget to subscribe before you head out. Check me out on Facebook and Twitter. Thanks for watching. Until next time, take care.